Natalie Wood, the dazzling star of Hollywood's golden age, had a career that sparkled brighter than the marquee lights of Broadway. Her performances in classics like West Side Story and Rebel Without a Cause made her a household name, adored by millions. But behind the glamorous facade lay a life shadowed by turmoil and whispered secret. As the 1980s dawned, Natalie seemed poised for a new chapter in her storied career. Little did anyone know, this chapter would end in the murky waters off Catalina Island, casting a dark pall over Hollywood's brightest star. Thanksgiving weekend, 1981, was meant to be a serene getaway for Natalie Wood, her husband Robert Wagner, their friend Christopher Walken, and the yacht's captain, Dennis Davern. Aboard the Splendor, they sailed towards Catalina Island, seeking refuge from the relentless pace of Hollywood life. But the calm seas belied the storm brewing among the passengers. Tensions simmered, fueled by alcohol and underlying resentment. Natalie, known for her fear of dark waters, was anxious. She had always harbored an inexplicable dread of drowning. As night fell, that fear would tragically become reality. November 28, 1981, brought with it a thick fog that seemed to cling to the boat like an ominous premonition. The night was filled with a cacophony of laughter, clinking glasses, and hushed arguments. As the evening progressed, witnesses on nearby boats reported hearing a woman's desperate cries for help, cutting through the stillness of the night. Yet, when morning came, Natalie was nowhere to be found. Her body was discovered hours later, floating lifeless in the Pacific, clad in a nightgown and a down jacket. The image of Hollywood's darling adrift in the cold, dark waters became an indelible scar on the collective psyche. The initial investigation into Natalie Wood's death was hasty at best. Los Angeles County Coroner Thomas Noguchi ruled her death an accidental drowning, citing a mixture of alcohol and medication as contributing factor. The case was swiftly closed, but whispers of foul play lingered. The authorities' quick conclusion did little to quench the thirst for truth, and questions began to surface about the events leading up to Natalie's untimely demise. Why had she been alone on the deck? What had driven her to leave the safety of the cabin in the dead of night? As the public mourned, suspicions began to mount. Dennis Davern, the yacht's captain, emerged with a damning account, claiming there'd been a violent argument between Wagner and Wood the night she disappeared. Wagner's initial statements were inconsistent, adding fuel to the fire of speculation. The media pounced on these inconsistencies, weaving a narrative of jealousy and betrayal. Christopher Walken, too, was dragged into the fray, though he maintained a stoic silence. Splendor, once a symbol of escape and luxury, now seemed a floating crime scene, shrouded in doubt and speculation. In the absence of concrete evidence, theories abounded. Some suggested that Natalie had tried to flee an escalating argument, falling into the water by accident. Others posited a more sinister scenario involving a jealous rage and an ensuing cover-up. The night's events were reconstructed countless times in the public imagination, each retelling darker than the last. Theories of conspiracy, involving high-profile Hollywood figures and intentional foul play, circulated, casting long shadows over those who had been aboard the Splendor. Decades passed, but the mystery of Natalie Wood's death refused to fade. In 2011, on the 30th anniversary of her death, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department reopened the case, spurred by new statements from Dennis Davern and advances in forensic technology. The reinvestigation brought fresh scrutiny to old evidence and reawakened the public's insatiable curiosity. Robert Wagner, now in his 80s, found himself once again in the spotlight, his actions that fateful night under renewed examination. Despite the renewed investigation, many questions remained unanswered. The coroner's revised opinion in 2012 listed the cause of death as drowning and other undetermined factors, acknowledging that the circumstances were not clearly established. Wagner, named a person of interest but not charged, maintained his innocence. The enigma deepened, leaving those who sought closure grasping at shadows. Each revelation seemed only to complicate the narrative further, making the truth ever more elusive. The case of Natalie Wood's death continues to haunt Hollywood. It serves as a reminder of the fragility of life, even for those who seem to have it all. The glamour of Natalie's career contrasts starkly with the grim mystery of her death, a juxtaposition that keeps the public fascinated. Books, documentaries, and endless speculation keep the story alive, ensuring that Natalie Wood remains in the public consciousness not only as a star, but as a tragic figure, caught in a web of intrigue and suspicion. As the years pass, the quest for the truth about what happened that fateful night on the Splendor endures. Investigators, journalists, and fans continue to sift through the evidence, hoping to uncover that one elusive clue that will bring clarity to the mystery. The case of Natalie Wood is a puzzle with missing pieces, a story with an ending that remains unwritten. It is a noir tale that encapsulates the allure and darkness of Hollywood, a cautionary tale of fame, fortune, and the shadows that often accompany them.